Hi everyone, my name is Emily with the Recycling and Rubbish Education Program here at the Butte Environmental Council. Today we're going to talk trash. You're going to learn about the 4 R's, what recycling is, and why it's so important. If you're watching this video as a class, you can pause the video to share your answers with each other when I prompt you to. First, let's start with a warm-up activity. I want you to choose an item near you, ideally something that you can hold in your hand and look at closely. Then, I want you to ask yourself the following questions. What is the item made of? Where was it made or grown? And is the item recyclable, reusable, or compostable? If you don't know the answer, that's okay. You might learn the answer throughout this lesson. Pause the video now to answer the questions and resume when you're ready. My item is a pen. This pen is made of plastic, metal, and ink. It says on the side that it's made in the USA. And unfortunately, this item is not compostable, nor is it easily recyclable. Whenever it runs out of ink, it usually goes in the trash. This gets us thinking about the story of stuff. Where does it come from, and where does it go when we're finished with it? All of our stuff comes from natural resources. Natural resources are what people use, which comes from the natural environment. For example, air, sunlight, oil, water, wood, gas, coal, and so on. Paper, metal, glass, and plastic all come from natural resources, and they are all recyclable. Can you guess which natural resource each of those come from? Paper is made from trees, which we cut down to harvest. Metal is made from ore, which we mine out of the ground. Glass is made from sand. And plastic is made from oil. Wow, nature gives us so much. And we want to take as little from nature as possible, right? So that's why we recycle. But what is recycling? Recycling is the action or process of converting our waste back into reusable materials. First, recyclable materials are collected, then they are sorted at the Materials Recovery Facility, or the MRF, by both people and machines. Then it's shipped to a facility where it can be melted down and turned back into a resource. Recycling is how we close the loop. In a closed-loop system, all waste is collected, recycled, and used to make new products. In this system, there would be zero waste. Zero waste is our goal for the future, but that's not the system we have right now. Can you think of something you threw away today? Pause the video and resume when you're ready. Did you know that each American throws away 4.5 pounds of trash per day on average? Only about 32% of that gets recycled or composted. So we have a long way to go to achieve zero waste. But where does trash go when we throw it away? You can pause the video now to share your answers if you like, and resume when you're ready. The landfill, that's right. A landfill is basically a big hole in the ground where trash is buried. The trash is compacted as tightly as possible in order to save space, but this doesn't allow things to decompose very quickly. The garbage is smashed so tightly that landfills create an environment for anaerobic decomposition, which means without oxygen. Anaerobic decomposition produces methane, a powerful greenhouse gas which traps heat in our atmosphere. All of the juice from our garbage is called leachate. Modern landfills are designed to prevent the leachate and the methane from contaminating the surrounding air, land, and groundwater. The Neal Road Recycling and Waste Facility is where all of the trash from Butte County goes. Approximately 466 tons of trash are brought to this landfill every day. Can you guess how many garbage trucks are brought to the Neal Road Recycling and Waste Facility every day? Pause the video now to guess and resume when you're ready. The answer is 83. 83 garbage trucks are brought to the Neal Road Recycling and Waste Facility every day. That's a lot of garbage. Sadly, sometimes our trash doesn't even make it to the landfill. A lot of it ends up in our environment as litter. This harms us as well as wildlife habitats. That's why it's important to practice all 4 R's of waste reduction: reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. These practices not only help save space in our landfills, but they also help keep our environment clean and reduce our impact on wildlife habitats. The first R is reduce. Reduce is all about using less. If we don't create trash in the first place, then there's nothing to throw away. Remember, the less we use, the less natural resources that we have to extract in order to make more stuff. You can reduce your waste by saying no to single-use items when you don't need them. Number 2 is reuse. Reuse means to use something again and again. You can bring your own reusable water bottles, straws, napkins, grocery bags, Tupperware containers, and use them again and again. Another great way to reuse is to get creative with your trash. For example, you can make trash art, reusable bags, and bird feeders, just to name a few. Next time, before you throw something in the trash, try to think of a new way to use it. This is called upcycling. Number 3 is recycle. Like I said before, recycling is the process of turning our waste into reusable materials to make new products. Do you remember the 4 materials that can be recycled? Paper, metal, glass, and plastic. First, let's talk about paper recycling. Each ton of recycled paper can save 17 trees, 3 cubic yards of landfill space, 4,000 kilowatts of energy, and 7,000 gallons of water. The types of paper that can go into your recycling bin are office paper, junk mail, magazines, newspapers, paperboard, and cardboard. Paper can be recycled about 5 to 7 times. Paper is made up of tiny long fibers, and every time it is recycled, those fibers get shortened, making the paper weaker each time. After about 5 to 7 times, the paper becomes too weak to be used again. Paper cups are not recyclable. Dirty paper that is soiled with food, liquids, or oils cannot be recycled. Also, the inside of a paper cup is usually lined with plastic, and anytime plastic and paper are fused together, it becomes very difficult to recycle that item. A great alternative to your typical paper cup lined with plastic is a reusable cup like this one. Greasy pizza boxes cannot be recycled. However, if the top of your pizza box is clean, you can rip that part off and put it in your recycle bin. Paper plates, paper towels, paper napkins, and tissues are not recyclable. The EPA estimates that Americans use 68 million trees per year for their paper needs. Paper plates can take up to 5 years to decompose in a landfill. That's why it's better to opt for reusable plates when you can, as well as reusable rags and napkins. Next, let's talk about metal. Aluminum, copper, steel, and brass are the most commonly recycled types of metal. Most metals can be recycled over and over again forever. The types of metal that can go into your recycling bin are aluminum cans and bottles, tin cans, and metal lids from jars and bottles. Recycled metals can be made into many different things, such as new cans, bicycle frames, and even airplane parts. Scrap metals can be brought to a scrap metal recycling center. Electronics and batteries can be brought to an electronic waste recycling center or household hazardous waste facility. In Chico, you can bring old computers to Computers for Classrooms, where they will be refurbished and used again. Household hazardous waste facilities are places where people can bring products like paints, cleaners, batteries, pesticides, and sharps. All of these products can contain toxic ingredients, which is why we need to take extra care when disposing of them. Do not put household hazardous waste items in your recycling bin at home because they can be dangerous for the people who are sorting the recyclables and because we do not want these products to end up in the landfill. Next, let's talk about glass. Like metal, glass can be recycled over and over again without losing its quality. Recycling 1 glass bottle saves enough energy to keep a light bulb burning for 4 hours. Over a ton of natural resources are saved for every ton of glass that is recycled. The types of glass that can go into your recycling bin are glass bottles and jars. Remember to rinse out your dirty recyclables before putting them into the recycling bin. Glass can be reused for so many other purposes. Before you recycle your glass, try to think of ways to reuse it. Finally, let's talk about plastic. Plastic can only be recycled about 1 to 3 times depending on what type of plastic it is. Some plastic cannot be recycled at all. The little number inside of the recycling symbol on a plastic item is the resin identification code, and that corresponds to what type of plastic it is. Butte County accepts plastics numbers 1 through 7 in your recycling bin. Similar to paper, every time plastic is recycled, it loses its quality. However, plastic doesn't decompose like paper. Plastic can take 400 to 1,000 years to break down. Plastic pollution is very harmful to wildlife and their habitats. Another problem with plastic is that there's just so much of it. That's why we recommend trying to avoid buying plastic when possible. If you can't avoid it, try to reuse it and then dispose of it properly. Plastic film like grocery bags, Ziploc bags, and bread bags must be brought to the grocery store to be recycled. Plastic bags cannot go in your recycling bin at home. Most large grocery stores will have a box outside or near the entrance where you can put your plastic bags to be recycled. Next time you go to a big grocery store, look for the box for plastic bags so you know where it is. Finally, the fourth R is rot. Rotting is nature's way of recycling. In nature, decomposers break down organic matter and turn it into nutrient-rich soil. We can copy nature by creating a compost bin at home. The best things to compost are fruits and vegetable scraps, newspaper, leaves, sawdust, grass clippings, tea bags, and coffee grounds. We have a different video all about composting and how it works. I hope that you can watch that one next. Remember, the 4 R's are reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. The 4 materials that can be recycled are paper, metal, glass, and plastic. Make sure to look for the recycling symbol on an item to see if it's recyclable. Let's also remember why we practice the 4 R's. To protect the environment, not just for ourselves, but for all other species, to save space in the landfills, and to conserve and reclaim precious natural resources. Check out the links in the bio for upcycling craft projects. One option is a upcycled wallet made from an old juice carton. Another option is a reusable bag made from an old t-shirt. And the third option is a desk buddy made from a TP roll. On behalf of the Butte Environmental Council and the Recycling and Rubbish Education Program, thank you for watching. Have a great day.